Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Will Tammy Slaton be homeless after rehab? 1,000-Pound Sisters fans are really happy that Tammy Slaton chose to go to rehab at the end of Season 3. However, recent interviews with family members have the fan base really concerned. Where is Tammy going to live after she finishes her treatment in rehab? Fans are growing increasingly worried that she is facing homelessness once she leaves the facility. Tammy Slaton may not have a place to live after rehab, according to family. Amy Halterman, Tammy's younger sister, gave an interview that has a lot of fans worried. Amy reportedly told The Sun that Tammy is paying for rehab out of her own pocket. As such, Tammy can no longer afford to pay the rent on the duplex. Amy told the publication Tammy used her Social Security checks to pay for treatment. When she comes out, she'll stay with me for a little bit. Soon as we find a place, she'll go there, she continued. I'm not sure when she's gonna come back, but I know that she's getting the help she needs. If she needs to be up there for a year, 2 years, that's fine. She needs the help. It seems that Tammy and her siblings are fully aware of the situation. She may take advantage of the year-long stay in rehab to get a handle on her housing issue. Is the TLC star making any progress in rehab? Tammy Slaton went to rehab before on 1,000-Pound Sisters. She did make remarkable progress, but checked herself out early and gained back all the weight she lost. Fans hope she will stay longer this time, and it would appear that she really is making progress. At the end of the Season 3 finale, her brother Chris Combs revealed she lost 115 pounds so far. As we previously noted, if Tammy is able to get under 500 pounds, Dr. Smith promised he would help her receive the bariatric surgery she needs. If Tammy keeps up the hard work, it really seems like she will be able to get the surgery in a matter of time. Fans would love to see the TLC star make positive progress on her journey, but unfortunately we have no idea if Season 4 will ever happen. We recently reported that not every member of the family is really on board with Season 4, and no one signed a new contract yet. The filming schedule is pretty taxing on the family, although they do enjoy earning money from the show. Tammy Slaton has survived more storms than most people see in a lifetime. Nearly losing her life in the hospital, fighting food addiction, entering rehab again and again, and clawing her way back from the brink. Her story has always been a roller coaster. But now, a shocking new chapter may be unfolding. Is Tammy facing homelessness after completing rehab? This possibility, once unthinkable, has fans holding their breath. Let's dive into the emotional, dramatic, and surprisingly empowering tale behind the rumor. The rehab glow that faded too fast. For months, Tammy worked with therapists, doctors, and rehab counselors to rebuild her life. She walked more. She breathed easier. She rediscovered hope. Rehab gave her something she had been missing for years: structure, a schedule, accountability, and support. But every rehab stay eventually ends. And as her discharge date drew closer, Tammy started feeling a knot in her stomach that had nothing to do with her diet. Because she had nowhere to go. Her old home no longer existed the way she left it. The dynamic had shifted, responsibilities changed, and several family tensions made returning complicated. The once cozy Slaton family house now felt like a place she wasn't sure she belonged. And without a job or stable income, Tammy had no new place lined up either. It was the first time she stared at the possibility that recovery might send her straight into uncertainty. A fractured support system. While Tammy loves her family, the Slaton circle has always been messy, emotional, and loud. Everyone is dealing with their own chaos. And after the heartbreaking loss of her husband, Caleb, Tammy's emotional load doubled. Amy had her hands full with 2 young kids, a divorce, bills, filming pressures, and the weight of being Tammy's unofficial caretaker for a decade. Amanda had her job to manage. Chris had his own household to run. The truth? They all loved Tammy, but they were burnt out. Behind the scenes, more than one family member made comments like, "We can't do everything for Tammy forever. She has to stand on her own now." And Tammy heard every word. This wasn't the family abandoning her, but it was a family setting limits. The insurance deadline that changed everything. In rehab, Tammy had structure, but insurance only covered a specific amount of time. As her release date approached, staff gently reminded her. Make plans. Find housing. Build your next steps. Tammy tried. She applied for apartments, looked into assistance programs, even asked about sober living homes. But her size, medical history, and mobility needs made things complicated. Many places weren't accessible. Others had long waiting lists. And so the possibility came crashing in. When rehab ends, Tammy might walk out the doors without a home to return to. The irony wasn't lost on her. For years she couldn't leave her home. Now she couldn't find one at all. An emotional breakdown behind closed doors. One evening, just days before her scheduled release, Tammy broke down in her room. She cried into her pillow, not because she felt weak, but because she finally realized how far she had come, yet how far she still had to go. She didn't want to be a burden. She didn't want to rely on Amy or anyone else. She wanted independence, real, hard-earned independence. And that meant she needed a place of her own. But rent prices were high. Disability payments weren't enough. And the show's filming schedule had been uncertain. Tammy whispered to herself, "After everything I survived, how am I still fighting just to have a roof over my head?" Then came the surprise she didn't expect. When things felt darkest, something shifted. Fans might think of Tammy as someone who pushes people away, but in rehab, she made connections. Therapists admired her honesty. Nurses saw her progress. And a social worker named Leah, who had been quietly supporting Tammy the entire time, stepped in with a plan. "You're not going to be homeless," Leah told her. "We're going to find you somewhere safe." She wasn't offering charity, she was offering strategy. Leah connected Tammy with an accessible housing program, a temporary assisted living grant, a landlord willing to make minor accommodations, a mobility service to help her transition. Suddenly, for the first time in months, Tammy had options instead of fear. But the biggest twist was yet to come. A family meeting that melted Tammy's heart. Just before discharge day, Tammy's family showed up, unexpectedly. Amy walked in first, holding a manila folder. Chris and Amanda came in behind her. Amy said, "We can't let you leave here worried about where you'll sleep. So we did something." She handed Tammy the folder. Inside was a rental application already submitted. Signed. Approved. A small, simple, accessible apartment. Close enough for family visits, far enough for independence. Tammy stared at the papers, tears forming, unable to speak. "I know we've argued," Amy said softly. "I know we've hurt each other. But you deserve stability. You deserve peace. And you deserve a home." Chris chimed in with his classic bluntness. "We ain't lettin' you live under no bridge, sis." Everyone laughed and cried at the same time. It wasn't a mansion. It wasn't perfect. But it was hers. Tammy's triumph. A home, a future, a fresh start. When Tammy finally left rehab, she didn't step out scared or lost. She stepped out knowing she had a key waiting for her. A real key. To her own place. A place where she could build new routines. She could heal from grief. She could strengthen her independence. She could work on herself without pressure or judgment. Homeless? No. Humbled, grateful, and ready for the next chapter? Absolutely. The symbolic power of Tammy's new door. For years, doors felt like obstacles, too narrow, too far, too heavy. But this new door was different, because Tammy could walk through it on her own. And that was everything. Her new home wasn't just shelter. It was freedom. It was proof that her story wasn't ending, it was just beginning. Tammy Slaton had fought too hard to lose the most basic thing a human deserves. A safe place to rest, grow, and breathe. And she wasn't about to let anyone or anything take that from her again.